Today's podcast is brought to you by Jerry Robinson's P.A.C.E portfolio. Learn how to shield your investments from economic uncertainty with this complete do-it-yourself portfolio package. Learn more at paceportfolio.com. That's P-A-C-E portfolio.com.
Welcome to the cutting edge of the global awakening.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence by the military-industrial complex.
Well, it looks like the North Tower of the World Trade Center has just completely collapsed.
The U.S. dollar's status as the preeminent reserve currency is under attack.
This is a mathematical fact. Tens of trillions of dollars are being extracted from the United States of America.
You really want the truth? Then just follow the money.
Welcome to Follow the Money Radio, a broadcast dedicated to your personal, spiritual, and financial liberty. And now, here's your voice of reason in the midst of global chaos, economist and best-selling author, Jerry Robinson.
Friends, welcome to today's broadcast. So glad that you're joining us. We are on the web at ftmdaily.com. We are beaming to your computer or to your iPad or iPod or your whatever you're listening to us on from the FTM Daily headquarters right here in the middle of nowhere, America. Doesn't matter where we are as long as we're here, right? And we are here bringing you the truth each and every day about this economy. Speaking of, this morning, Federal Reserve Chairwoman Janet Yellen signaled that continued low interest rates are going to just be a part of our life. In her semi-annual report to Congress, she said that the U.S. economic recovery is, quote, not yet complete. I'd have to concur with that. And she also adds that there are too many Americans who remain unemployed. She's probably talking about those 92 million Americans, which is 1 out of 3 that don't have a job and aren't looking for a job. So no doubt about it, Janet Yellen is correct. The economic recovery is far from complete. Okay, so Fed Chairman Yellen was the entire focus of traders today, and the big question on everybody's mind was how long will the Fed leave interest rates low? I'm going to spare you some of the clips of Janet Yellen's speech. You know what she reminds me of, Jennifer? By the way, I'm joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, wife, and national director of the Christian Financial Advisor Network, Jennifer Robinson. You know who she reminds me of, Jennifer?
Who?
You remember Janet Reno? Remember Janet Reno? You ever see the SNL skit, Janet Reno's Dance Party? And she comes in and she's all husky and she's dancing around, because she kind of was butch. This is exactly what Janet Yellen reminds me of. She has that butch kind of voice,
She's just a little difficult to listen to be quite honest.
She's rough around the edges. There's no doubt about it. She got the Beatles hairdo and stuff. We shouldn't be mean. But anyway, look, the lady is saying that the economic recovery has not yet fully taken hold. That's what we've been saying now at this broadcast for years. Anyway, right now the Fed is the primary driver of the stock market. You take a look at the stock market on a daily basis, and what's really holding this thing up is the belief that the Fed is going to continue to keep these interest rates low. They're going to continue to pump money in, buy more bonds, and that's been the primary driver of the stock market. But the Fed has already announced that by November of this year, it's going to end its historic QE3 program, and that'll mean that instead of newly printed funny money coming out of the Fed to be the driver for markets to go higher, instead now we're going to have to focus on corporate profits, and we're going to have to focus on positive employment numbers and positive economic news to gain any kind of momentum in the markets. Earnings season is right now upon us, so over the next 2 weeks, we're going to get a real good idea of how strong corporate earnings really are. But if you listen to the language that Janet Yellen was using today, and if you also pay close attention to that new Bank of International Settlements report that we reported on to you, I guess, last week or maybe the week before, about how the markets are euphoric globally. We are in uncharted territory, as so many have pointed out. Forget the United States. Europe is, of course, dealing with zero growth. They're trying to figure out how to get themselves out of their slump. And the IMF, which is based in Washington, is pushing the ECB to begin a round of quantitative easing. So we may simply see the ECB pick up the slack once the Fed ends their QE3 in November. It may be that they pass the baton to the ECB, and the ECB then begins to be the one who prints and prints and prints. So we'll be keeping our eyes on that, watching these markets. By the way, we have Jay Peroni, who's going to be stopping by here in just a few minutes. He's going to be talking about our P.A.C.E portfolio, our precious metals, agriculture, commodities, and energy portfolio. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, about how it's performed. And we just put that product up on our website now. It's in the store.
We did. We just put that product up in our store. It's brand new. So if you haven't checked out our store yet, or you haven't looked at it in a little while, go to ftmdaily.com, click on the store button, and you can see what all we have to offer, even some free items in the store. So definitely check it out. You know, speaking of yesterday's show, Jerry, of course, the title of the show was Beware of False Economic Predictions. Kind of a hot button topic there, because we talked about people who are broadcasting or writing or making videos across the internet and are really trying to influence a lot of people out there with economic predictions. You know, we talk about trends and we talk about what is actually happening, and we base things off of history and sound economic principles. But there are some people out there who are making predictions and they don't have much to back it up. And most of the response from yesterday's show was very positive, and many were in agreement. However, we had a couple of people who wrote in, one in particular, and said that he knew who we were talking about, although we didn't mention the name on the show yesterday. He said, "I know who you're talking about, and I rather enjoy listening to this person and watching this person's videos." And he basically said, "How dare you, and why would we talk about other people that way?" But most of the response was positive, but this gentleman did have a little issue with what we said.
Well, you know, and I think that's normal. We're not trying to attack anybody. I mean, we obviously have enough integrity not to go after and attack people. But I tell you what, if you come down here to FTM Daily, just come on down to our headquarters sometime if you have a problem, and just answer our phones for a week, and you'll hear the heartbreak that many people have. You know, we're one of the few places online, Jennifer, that have an 800 number on our website. And when you call that 800 number, we answer it. And we constantly deal with people who have been burned by a lot of these guys that are out there that are just coming up with dates to sell newsletters. They're coming up with dates to spook people. And then when it doesn't work out, they just change the date. And meanwhile, I guess they don't think about it, but people are losing money. I mean, if people are paying attention to that, they're investing around that and they're losing money. And so we've dealt with a lot of that. We've got those calls. And when these guys are long gone, they've already sold all their newsletters or whatever they've done, you know, Jennifer and I and our team and our staff will still be here answering the phone. We're still going to be here answering the phone, helping you pick up the pieces from these guys who just, for whatever reason, have to come up with another date and have to sell it to you. And for whatever reason, people continue to listen to it. But you're right, Jennifer. We focus upon sound economic principles, economic history, and these are things that you can look back at. Obviously, you can't know what's going to happen no matter what you may think, no matter how much you may believe it. You just don't know exactly what's going to happen in the markets. That's why we've created so many different resources for folks to help them navigate these unpredictable markets, like our market barometer and, of course, our P.A.C.E portfolio. And that kind of leads us into to Jay Peroni. Jay's going to be coming on to talk about the P.A.C.E portfolio. I started that back in 2007, the portfolio, as a way to protect my own investments. And I used precious metals. I used mining stocks and ETFs. I used agricultural ETFs and agribusiness ETFs. I used commodities. I looked at different commodities and I would pick out which ones were doing well at the time. And then also energy. Had some of my favorite energy companies in the P.A.C.E portfolio. And then about 2012, Jay Peroni, who was our chief investment analyst here at FTM Daily, made the comment that he could definitely check it out, look it over. And after I let him do that, he made some great recommendations and great improvements. And then actually, we decided together to add one more component, and that was to wrap the entire portfolio with dividend-paying stocks that were global, that would actually do well in a time of, like a currency crisis or something. Find a globally diversified company that earns its money both inside the United States and outside the United States, and that pays a fat dividend.
Yeah, we call that buffering our portfolio, because there will be times when some of these commodities, which P.A.C.E, of course, stands for all those four things: precious metals, agriculture, commodities, and energy. But they're all really pretty much commodities. And so there will be times when those sectors will struggle, obviously. And so we buffer that portfolio with world-dominating dividend-paying stocks, earn some income, and then help keep those returns, help keep pace with the markets, even when, let's say, precious metals were down in 2013 over 30%.
Yeah, that's the value of diversification with your investments, and that's exactly what the P.A.C.E portfolio is all about. We have a brand new website we've created for the P.A.C.E portfolio. You can check it out at paceportfolio.com. And for $49 per year, we give you unlimited access to the entire portfolio, where you're able to see every single thing that we currently have. You also get buy alerts by email anytime we add a stock or subtract a stock from the portfolio. Jennifer, there's a few other things in there too, aren't there?
Yeah, you get a quarterly report on the P.A.C.E portfolio. And then you also get a nice bonus. Jerry, you actually have an ETF list that allows investors to gain additional exposure to these P.A.C.E areas if they so choose. And these ETFs come complete with buy, hold, and sell ratings each month.
Yeah, that's a big FTM Insider benefit, and now that's available for those who just want the P.A.C.E portfolio access alone. They can go to paceportfolio.com and they can sign up for that. Some people, though, say, you know what, I don't want to fool with trying to track it. I just want somebody to manage it for me, and Jay is able to do that as well. That's what he does for us, because I don't have time. I'm busy trading my other stocks and running other businesses. And so I've pretty much outsourced the P.A.C.E portfolio to him, and he's done a stellar job with it. I've been real proud of the work he's turned in on that. So we're going to come right back after this break. When we do, Jay's going to be here. He's going to give us an update on the P.A.C.E portfolio, talk a little bit about how we're making money with that, and give you some tips and advice on investing. Hold tight.
Attention stock traders, FTM Daily is proud to announce our latest resources for stock traders of all experience levels. Are you ready to wade in the stock trading waters? Well, unlock Jerry Robinson's trading room and receive his daily stock trading idea, complete with buy price, stop loss price, exit target, and daily trading alerts. Become an FTM insider and unlock the trading room instantly. But perhaps one stock idea per day is not enough for you. No problem. Get everything in Option 1 Plus. Analyze any U.S. stock or ETF for short-term and long-term buy and sell signals with our new Trigger Trade Pro system. Find FTM Insider and Trigger Trade Pro in our online store today. Visit ftmdaily.com/store or give us a call at 800-609-5530. That's ftmdaily.com/store or call us at 800-609-5530.
Hey friends, this is Jerry Robinson from Follow the Money Weekly. Recently, we have been receiving many emails from our listeners commenting on the great help they're getting from our precious metals expert, Tom Cloud. Gold and silver are excellent hedges against the growing threat of coming U.S. inflation. Who's your gold guy? Make it Tom Cloud. With over 30 years experience with precious metals, Tom will answer all of your questions. Don't buy your gold and silver through some call center and pay inflated prices. Call my good friend Tom Cloud and speak directly with him and get all of your questions answered. For a limited time, Tom is offering free shipping and insurance on every gold and silver purchase made by our listeners. Call 800-247-2727. 2812. And when you do, tell him that Jerry Robinson from Follow the Money Weekly sent you, and he'll throw in that free shipping and insurance on your entire order. Call your gold guy, Tom Cloud, right now for the very best deals on gold and silver coins. 800-247-2812. That is 800-247-2812.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Here we go.
Contact us anytime through our website at ftmdaily.com. And now more Follow the Money with Jerry Robinson.
I love it.
All right, joining me on the line today is FTM Daily Zone Chief Investment Analyst and also the Portfolio Manager for our P.A.C.E investment portfolio, Jay Peroni. Hey, Jay, how are you today?
Hey, Jerry, how's it going today?
It's going great. We've been talking here about the P.A.C.E portfolio on today's program, kind of explaining a little bit about what it is. And you're the guy who actually manages this. You're the one who actually buys the stocks, sells the stocks, liquidates the positions. When we decide to do that, you also send out the alerts every time we add a new stock or take away one. Why don't you share with the folks a little bit about your work and your role in the P.A.C.E portfolio and how that can benefit them?
Yeah, one of the things that I think a lot of people miss out on is the fact that when you do investing, it requires a lot of homework. I know as kids, we all hate doing our homework, but as adults, it pays off. The more homework you do, when you're looking at an investment opportunity, the better you can do. It's not always a strategy that's not going to work out, but ultimately, at the end of the day, by doing your homework, you're going to find ideas that have the potential to be very profitable. And using the P.A.C.E philosophy, which is looking at precious metals, agriculture, commodities, and energy, it's no easy feat trying to sort through all of the opportunities to try to find the best ideas available. So what I do as the P.A.C.E portfolio manager is I really look at each and every investment from 5 different angles. I call it my 5-point stock inspection. And what I simply do is I look at, number one, the earnings. Is this company or is this investment becoming more and more profitable? Earnings tend to drive stock prices and tend to drive prices of investments. So if an investment is more profitable, its earnings should be trending upward. So that's the first thing that I look at. Is it earning money? I also look at the valuation. Is it attractively priced? And if it's not attractively priced, well, it's going to be on my watch list until it comes down to the price that I feel comfortable buying the position. The third thing that I look at is the financial health of the investment. Does it have a strong balance sheet? Does it have a lot of debt? I look at these types of things to see, is it in good financial shape or bad financial shape? Just like you and me, Jerry, if we're not balancing our checkbook, we're not paying our bills, we got a lot of credit cards, a big mortgage, it's going to be difficult for us to continue to make our payments. So financial health is very important. Also look at risk. Is something aggressive? Is it low risk? Is it moderate risk? Risk for me is huge because I want to try to take as little risk as I can and try to get as high of a return as I can. And sometimes it's give or take, but looking at the risk is really important. And then lastly, price momentum. And what price momentum is looking at is the stock closer to its 52-week high or its 52-week low. I tend to favor stocks that are trending toward its high because I feel that once a stock hits its high, it can continue to go higher. So I look at momentum, look at valuation, risk, the financial health, and the earnings when looking at each and every investment opportunity.
Well, since we put together this P.A.C.E portfolio back in, I guess we really put it together, you and I, back in 2012, whenever you and I actually put this thing together and made it available to the folks. Because right now, there's really 2 options. The folks can either subscribe to the P.A.C.E portfolio on our website. You can learn about that at paceportfolio.com. And you can track all of the changes as Jay makes a change or a shift to the portfolio. There are real-time alerts that are sent out by email. So when we buy a stock, you get an email. When we sell a stock, you get an email. And you can track it on your own. And just looking back over the last couple of years, we've really had some good, solid gains in several different stocks. One of the things that I think Jay has really allowed us to stand out with this portfolio is how we balance it between those areas, precious metals, will not always be outperforming, say, energy, or energy may not be outperforming agriculture. And so since we have all four areas, we can at times put more of the money into one of those areas that are doing well and lighten up on the areas that are not doing as well. That explains why last year, for example, whenever gold was down 25% and silver was down 33%, our P.A.C.E portfolio was still up 21% for the year. What areas right now, Jay, are outperforming overall right now? What are you excited about most with the P.A.C.E portfolio as we head into the last half of 2014?
Yeah, one of the things that's done really well for us this year has been the energy side of the coin. Energy prices, as most people know, have been rising, and that has been profitable for a lot of our energy opportunities within the portfolio. I think energy prices are starting to peak a little bit here. I think there's going to be at least a short-term retreat in oil prices, but I still like energy as one of my favorite plays going into the second half of the year. I like a lot of the companies that we have in the portfolio. We have the U.S. energy revolution going on. So we have companies like EOG Resources and Continental Resources that are taking advantage of the opportunities in the U.S. that haven't been around for decades. I mean, this is an exciting time to be investing in this U.S. energy revolution, and the P.A.C.E portfolio has a lot of exposure to that opportunity. Also really love our world dominators, Jerry. These are companies that we've added to the portfolio to also provide additional diversification. These companies pay strong dividends. They have global products that are in high demand, things like medicine and clothing and technology, things that people are using each and every day. And these opportunities, I believe, because these companies pay strong dividends, have strong cash flow, provide some great opportunities as well. And another great opportunity for all of your listeners, Jerry, who truly believe in owning physical metal and they want to have additional exposure, but they also want to have the diversification of investing in stocks. The P.A.C.E portfolio is great because we have some mining exposure in the portfolio, as well as ETFs that track gold and silver prices. So it really gives the investor really the best of both worlds, having some precious metals exposure, but also some stocks and some other things that can appreciate with this current market.
That's been one of the big things, Jay, that so many people have piled into gold and silver, which is a great place to be if you're worried about inflation or you want tangible assets. But as we know, the stock market has been goosed by the Federal Reserve, and people who have just kind of had an either-or attitude have kind of missed the boat. So this allows kind of the best of both worlds, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It absolutely does. And the thing is, if we see precious metals are going to soar, we believe, there's a great opportunity in mining stocks. We can add some additional exposure. So we have a lot of flexibility to take advantage of whatever market condition comes our way.
Jay Peroni, as I mentioned, he's the chief investment analyst here at FTM Daily. He's also a certified financial planner. Been in the business for how long? About
18 years, Jerry, believe it or not.
He's available to talk to you. Probably a good time to do a mid-year review. I'm sure that's what you're doing with your clients right now, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah, right now is a perfect time because the first half of the year was very challenging. It was kind of like a seesaw, up and down. And a lot of people, got kind of scared by what was going on and ran to the sidelines. And I think that was the wrong thing to do. So right now is really a great opportunity to sit down, take a look at where you currently are. Are you positioned properly for the second half of the year? Do you have too much in stocks, too little? Do you have too much in metals, too little? We'll look at all these different angles to really see, are you in the place where you should be?
All right, Jay, for those folks out there who say, I'd like to do that, I'd like to take you up on that, how can they contact you?
Yeah, the best way, Jerry, is either one of two ways. They can either send me an email. It's simply Jay at ftmdaily.com. So Jay at ftmdaily.com. Or they can give me a call toll free at 888-664-6963. Once again, that number is 888-664-6963. And it only takes about 30 minutes, Jerry. We just kind of sit down, discuss where they're currently at, what their goals are, what their vision for the future is, where they're currently investing, whether it be through another advisor or they're doing it on their own. it never hurts to get a second opinion. I have a lot of people that just want to bounce a few ideas off me or want to take a look. Here's what my advisor's saying. Is this, I kind of disagree. My advisor doesn't believe the dollar's kind of declining, or whatever the case may be. It always helps to get a second opinion. Just like if you were thinking of doing a medical procedure, you'd always get a second opinion. It's the same thing with your financial health. It pays to get a second opinion.
One of the things I like about Jay is that he stands behind what he does. And not only that, he also has proven himself successful, a millionaire by the age of 30. I think it was Jim Rogers, Jay, who once said that only in New York City do guys ride in the back of limousines to go down to take advice from guys who take the subway to work. And I think that's really important. We've been talking a lot about that, about practicing what you preach. And you yourself have been very successful in these markets, a millionaire by the age of 30. I know there's a lot of people who want to achieve that. And so I think that speaks volumes as to your ability to understand these markets. So thanks for coming on. And if anybody wants to contact you, they can certainly call you 888-664-6963 or jay@ftmdaily.com. Have a great rest of your week, Jay. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks a lot, Jerry. You have a blessed day.
All right, Jerry. Well, gold prices today have slipped again. They're sitting at $12.94, down almost 1% from yesterday. Silver is at $20.78, down also from yesterday. And the S&P 500 is at 1973, down almost 4 points, about 0.2% from yesterday's close. Jerry, I know a lot of people want to know if we've reached the peak in these markets. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's a good question. And of course, our standard answer is we don't know where the market's going to go. But I can tell you what my gut is saying. I can tell you that based upon where I see everything and all of the noise that's out there, that we're probably not at the absolute peak. I think we probably still have more to go. And the reason I say that is because I've heard numerous times through the grapevine that the Fed is targeting a 20,000 Dow, which would translate into about 2250 on the S&P 500, which means that we still have quite a ways to go from here. So I would expect the markets to, certainly have some sort of correction or pullback. My gosh, it just keeps going up. We've got to have some sort of correction. But I do believe it's going to crash really hard whenever it does. But I think we're probably going to continue higher from here. But again, it's pure speculation. But I can tell you by looking at the current charts and our 10 parameters we watch on our market barometer that this market is still on fire. And until something changes, I don't see why the trend itself would change. Remember, if you ever want to find us online, just go on to ftmdaily.com, or you can always call us 800-609-5530. With your questions. If you do have a question you'd like to submit to have us answer on the show, you can do that by sending it to info@ftmdaily.com. And as always, I leave you with this final word, this time from the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 25, where it says, "A generous person will be made rich, and whoever satisfies others will himself be satisfied." It seems the happiest people that I've ever known have also been the most generous. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it really does signify that a person has their heart right when they're willing to share and be generous with others. Just something to think about. Remember, friends, when you want the truth about the global economy, just follow the money. We'll see you right back here again tomorrow. Until then, God bless.
All of the information contained on Follow the Money is strictly for informational and educational purposes. The views and opinions of our guests and sponsors, including Tom Cloud and Jay Peroni, are their own and do not necessarily represent the views of FTMDaily.com or Robinson Media Group, LLC. Jerry and Jennifer Robinson do hold their insurance licenses and may offer consulting on life insurance and fixed retirement income products. Jennifer Robinson is an investment advisor representative with Faith-Based Investor, LLC. Remember, never do your financial planning through podcast or radio. It's your money. Be wise. Do your due diligence and always consult a trusted financial professional